Hey guys, currently working on the FT Seaduck build, and I wanted to share this little technique with you that I do um, in terms of actually gluing the whole project together. How I glue things generally. In the early flight test videos or early flight test planes that I had done, I pretty much followed everything that they had laid out and used hot glue the whole time. Later on, I started developing a technique where I alternate. I use wood glue and hot glue together. So now the way this works basically is the way this works basically is when you're doing like a balsa build, for example. Generally, you'll glue a piece together either with epoxy or CA or something like that, and you'll actually clamp the pieces together after you glue them, just so they stay in place and don't move, and until the glue finally sets. Similar technique here. I'm using my hot glue as a way to sort of clamp the piece in place so it doesn't move while the wood glue sets. So that's kind of how I do things, because wood glue does take a little bit longer. So I'm using some Gorilla wood glue here, and of course I got my AdTech hot glue gun. And I'm basically, what I'm doing right now is I'm reinforcing this wing with some extra wood reinforcement. I think that that had done my last Seaduck in. I had a weak spot in the wing, and I think it gave way whenever it crashed that time. So I've been working on adding some wood reinforcements to this wing here to help it from snapping. So, but anyways, let me go ahead and show you the wood glue technique that I do. All right, first of all, I go ahead and apply the wood glue, and I just kind of, just sort of space it out, basically. I do a little bit here. Just kind of space it out like so. And then I'll take the hot glue, and then I'll kind of fill in some of those holes. And sometimes I'll put a little dab in the middle of each section there. Okay, then I'll go ahead and put her in place. Kind of smear it around a little bit, just to kind of thin it out. And then I'll kind of hold it there. So, not much different to how Flitetest does it with and Josh Bixler in his videos, where you kind of smear out the glue, hold it in place. It's kind of the same procedure, but you just don't use as much hot glue, and you kind of fill in some of those gaps with wood glue. Okay, well, I think that's good there. And I generally try to do that for the whole plane. So, even now for these creases right here, for example, where I'm going to be doing the fold over, I'll actually probably just use hot glue for that. Now, for anything, like a more permanent thing, like these spars, for example, and of course when I fold over the wing and actually get the wing closed up, then I will use the wood glue technique and the hot glue technique. Okay. And while I've got this pulled up here too, I was going to go ahead and show you this as well. So what I've done, like I said, I had an issue with my last Seaduck where it actually had a smaller crash earlier in its life, and it actually weakened a part of the wing. I tried to reinforce it with what I could, and like I said, I think that reinforcement just gave way on the day that it actually officially crashed. So what I'm doing is I'm adding these wood paint sticks in here to sort of reinforce everything. This one really is not required, because the fuselage is going to sit right here and probably be strong enough for that, but it never hurts to be extra, and it never hurts to add extra strength to it. But what I'm going to do, So I've got it on the edges here, as you see, on each edge of the wing. These marked areas here, of course, is where the nacelles are going to go. So I was not sure how I was going to approach that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue a probably like a wood dowel or something real thin in this section right here, and this also goes for over here as well. Or I might do it off of the trailing edge, something in there to sort of to brace it. I think in my last Seaduck, that's actually where that weak spot was. It was like right on this line of where it meets the nacelle. So I figure if I can get something to reinforce in this area somewhere, I think that'll help with the strength in that area too. So, but anyways, that's I just want to share that little tidbit with you and what I'm kind of doing.